We're going to talk about transformations of sine and cosine, so how we can shift those graphs up, down, stretch them, shrink them, everything we talked about with algebraic functions. But since sine of x and cosine of x are wave functions, we have a couple of new terms that we need to talk about. So the first one is amplitude. So the amplitude of a graph is, you can think of it as how tall the function is. Now it's actually going to be the distance between halfway from the graph to the top. Okay, so if you think about sine of x, it's centered at the x-axis, it goes up one from there and it goes down one from there. Same thing for cosine. And so that amplitude is just an amplitude of 1. If we were to stretch it so that it went all the way up to 2 and all the way down to -2, that would be an amplitude of 2. Okay, the next one, a phase shift, is just how the function is shifted left or right. So we've talked about how to shift things left or right when we're adding or subtracting something inside the function. So this will be sine of x plus or minus something inside the parentheses. It's just a new term. We call it phase shift. And we've talked about vertical shifts. Vertical shifts just mean you're picking the whole graph up and moving it up or down. And that's when you add or subtract something to the very end of the function. So we'd have sine of x, close the parenthesis, plus or minus something. And those will work exactly the same. So those are 3 things we're going to focus on when we talk about transformations. We'll also talk about how the period changes as we do these things.